to take a break mid-broadcast, and that would be awesome. And I'm going to hydrate myself a little bit more. And, of course, something that we've always seen is the wishing well that comes along. And, of course, some of the original advance teams that we see, the UCT wishing well.
Yes.
And, of course, we remember Ralph Pilata having been in this contingency for so long. Ralph, a great member of the Civic Day celebration.
Absolutely, and the UCT wishing well, wish upon a penny, wish upon a dime, wish upon a quarter, and you will be very kind. Please support the United Commercial Travelers Wishing Well, which raises money supporting various charities and charitable causes throughout the years. And we do want to thank, as well as the North Worcester County Exchange Club. They are providing flags for folks along the parade route. They're taking time to come by with those flags. Happy 4th of July, and so they will have those flags that you are seeing waved. We do want to thank again the North Worcester County Exchange Club, who is providing those flags. We'll have some pre-parade entertainment as well. And again, we do want to thank the UCT Wishing Well and the North Worcester County Exchange Club, always coming by and providing those flags that you see, so you don't have to keep your flags all preserved. They've got them fresh for you every year here, and it's always great to see the little kids waving the flags, and young and old, everyone really enjoys this broadcast.
United Commercial Travelers Wishing Well. And I know it was wish upon a penny, wish upon a dime, wish upon a quarter, and you'll be very kind is the motto, as you had aptly said. The vendors now moving up and down east and west on Main Street, and it won't be long, Travis, we will see what we are so used to seeing, which is that first public safety contingent.
Yes, that first public safety contingent led by Fitchburg Police Chief Ernie Martineau. I got a chance to talk to him already this morning. He's been up and at it for a while now, ensuring that everything is going on as planned. And yesterday he spent time walking the beat up and down, just like the rest of his officers yesterday, really embedding himself into the Fitchburg Civic Days event and really spending time talking to the community about the event and also about their concerns. He has been someone who at community policing has been at the heart of his tenure and about the heart of what he's been trying to do in the area.
Well, Travis, as we had the guest this morning, the Honorable Mayor of the City of Fitchburg, I have with me the Assistant City Solicitor for the City of Fitchburg, none other than Donna Pollock. Donna, great to see you today. You're working on something very special, of course, the Pollock Playground. Tell us a little bit more.
Thank you. So this is a playground that we're building down at Coolidge Park. It's going to accommodate children with disabilities. There'll be accommodations for wheelchairs and all types of disabilities. It'll be right adjacent to the existing playground. It's our hope that this will bring families together. There's so many families in the city that can't go to the traditional playground, maybe because they have one child with disabilities or more, but even one child with disabilities means all of the children can't go and play together. And we're hoping that this is going to rectify that situation and create an environment where everybody can go and play together.
And Don, I know there's been a couple different events already to help raise money for this park, and the reception to this, I mean, people have been so open to this concept.
People have been fabulous, I have to say. The Knights of Columbus, the Rotary Club, they've all been really great. The city, the mayor, everybody has really embraced us. We've been at the Fay Club. We've done all kinds of fundraisers, and very recently Dean Tran got us $43,000 allocated from the state budget, which was just fabulous. It pushed us to the halfway mark.
Donna, you've been engaged with the city for a long time in a bunch of different capacities, and of course this is a huge opportunity to celebrate Sam Pollock.
It really is. So Sam Pollock is my father-in-law. He was an educator. He was the principal of Neshoba for, I believe, 20 years. He also taught special ed, as did both of his daughters and my husband before he was a firefighter. He taught special ed. And Sam was on the school committee here, and after he retired, he taught special ed and worked one-on-one with children with disabilities. He was a fabulous man who was very committed to the city of Fitchburg, very committed to public education, and so this is a great way to celebrate his life.
Move the legacy on. Thank you, Donna Pollock, for joining us this morning. It's great to see you. Attorney Donna Pollock, of course, Assistant City Solicitor for the City of Fitchburg. I see motorcycles, Travis.
I hear motorcycles as well, and yes, we are starting to see them as they make their way down the route. And I think it's safe to say the Civic Days 4th of July parade here in the city of Fitchburg is officially underway. Folks on Summer Street have already seen these displays, but this is the first time we're seeing them, and I'll tell you, the energy was undeniable when I drove through that area in Summer Street where they meet up earlier this morning. Folks were excited. There was a huge energy just in people who were standing there getting ready for this parade. They were eager to get on the move, eager to come down here and really celebrate with the Fitchburg and Central Mass area. And I say North Central Mass because there are folks from well beyond the reaches of Fitchburg who are lining our streets today. There are folks even from New Hampshire and other states that come back, as we mentioned, Ray C., the Shalafu family coming all the way up from Florida just to be a part of this broadcast, making that trek, that flight up here to be a part of this.
Great city, and of course it's the people that make that city so good. So one of the things that we're going to see this morning very shortly are 2018 FLHTP Harley-Davidson police issue motorcycles. There's something new about that, the feature of that motorcycle, that they're hydraulic suspension now. Mm-hmm. They're very sophisticated and technically advanced. And of course, Officer Jude Shabbat, one of the mounted officers that I spoke with last night, was telling me all about the details of that. This motorcycle contingent, of course, been going on now well over a decade, and continues under Ernie Martineau's leadership.
Absolutely, and we'll also be seeing some of their newer police cruisers as well. These SUVs are well equipped for those harsh New England winters and those hilly streets here in the city of Fitchburg, and it's great to see all the different vehicles that the Fitchburg Police Department has at their disposal, and we're seeing that contingency come through. We're seeing them make their different formations right now, and you will see this in just a moment here as they start to carry this here on our FATV broadcast. And for those of you sitting in the stands, please be patient. They are on their way. We do want to thank the Shalafu family. As you mentioned, Ray C., his family actually just dropped off a banner that we're going to attempt to hang here outside our broadcast booth that's just got some pictures of him over the years at different Fitchburg events. And we do want to thank the Shalafu family for taking the time to bring that over to us. And they were a part of the car show yesterday, and they've made coming back here an annual tradition just to be a part of this Fitchburg Civic Days block party and parade.
We have been looking for Ray's picture with the ominous red, white, and blue, and we're going to do something special with that for the year 2020. As soon as I speak with some of their the folks, the young ladies that just brought this up. It's awesome, and we're going to hang that in just a few minutes. So as we can hear, the First Division coming towards us now, westerly on Main Street. For those of you who haven't been here earlier, just be very careful not to occupy the street, and join Travis Connon from WPKZ and myself, Glenn Fossa, for the 2019 Independence Day celebration downtown Fitchburg.
And you know, it's interesting because I will be getting up early again tomorrow, but this was actually a late wake-up call from usually up at 3:30, 3:15 in the morning. We will be back up and broadcasting live with the K-Zone Morning Commute. Obviously, we were off this morning because of the 4th of July, but we will be back tomorrow broadcasting and talking about this parade, talking about some of the weekend events which will be going on as well, whether it's the duck race. We've got some other events happening. We'll also be talking about the history of the duck race, the Ivor Johnson bicycles. There's a comic convention coming to the area. We'll be talking all of that tomorrow morning starting at 6 a.m. on the K-Zone 105.3 FM at AM 1280 WPKZ, also streaming online at WPKZ.net.
We're going to see the contingency, of course, come by with police cruisers, and of course their almost antique 1993 Fitchburg Police Relief Association patrol car that they keep as a memento for some of the historic elements of the Fitchburg Police Department. We're also going to be joined this morning with a couple of motorcycles from the Leominster Police Department, and we're excited to see them participating with us as well.
And Glenn, when you talk about the Fitchburg Police Department, you were a member of the department for how many years?
32 years. 32
years, and you saw membership go up, you saw it go down, and in recent years we've seen membership start to increase. We've seen a real commitment by Fitchburg Police Chief Ernie Martineau and Fitchburg Mayor Stephen DiNatale to increasing the ranks of those who are out patrolling the streets, who are out engaging the community. And again, we say community policing, and that phrase is going to come up a number of times because that's really what the department is trying to do. They're trying to do community policing, trying to really engage with the community and be a partner.
Fitchburg has done it well, and of course, speaking on behalf of the department, they really get it, if you want to use that terminology, and they get out into the community, they talk with people, they get their sense of what's important to them, to make them feel safe. Feeling safe is just as important as whether or not you're being safe, and feeling safe is what drives a community to become what this is today.
Absolutely, and Glenn, I'm sure you can attest to this. Over the years, the role of police officer has changed. You wear so many different hats nowadays. You're not just responding to a 911 emergency, you're also acting as maybe a mentor, as maybe a counselor, as someone who's there when there's a tragedy, maybe a grief counselor. You're wearing so many different hats nowadays in your role in community policing.
That's correct, and you know, we can't say enough about the folks that help the police each and every day. When you say community policing, it is about the village that is policing themselves. It's about the city who looks out for one another. It's about the parents who look out for one another's children. And it's about education. It's about the incredible role that our city schools play in educating our children about how to be safe and how to act accordingly so that others aren't offended or hurt.
And the department's community engagement unit has been doing a tremendous job engaging with school children, coming out to community events. If you follow the Fitchburg Police Department on Facebook, their community engagement department is constantly posting updates, and it's not uncommon for them to be at 2 or 3 or sometimes even 4 different events in the course of a weekend, really just showing their commitment to the area. Jeffrey Howe, the entire staff over there, the entire community engagement unit, they do such a fabulous job.
The motorcycle contingent is represented this morning by Lieutenant Chris Garcia, Officer Daniel Menichello, Officer Tyler Robichaud, Officer James McCall, and Mei-Ling Polanco Diaz, who's a female police officer, motorcycle officer, incredible. And of course, the Leominster Police Department, well represented this morning by Corey Donnelly and Officer Hogwing. So good to see all of these folks this morning as the motorcycles make their way west. Special shout out, give them a big wave for the Fitchburg and Leominster Police motorcycle teams.
That's right, and they're making their way up, they're doing their formations, and they're having a lot of fun. And one of the great things too is a lot of times as these cars are starting to come through, you're going to see some younger folks, you're going to see some family members as well. And I know we talk about the sacrifices that the police make, but their families as well make tremendous sacrifices. You know, when their sons or daughters or their dads or moms or brothers and sisters go off to work, they never know if they're going to be coming back at the end of the day. There's always that fear that something could happen, and they make a tremendous sacrifice as well, being the family member of a police officer.
And this is truly part of the community policing element as well, that they have families, they have all of the same kinds of trials and tribulations that citizens have. Of course, we see Ernie Martineau right here, and Captain LeMay, that's Captain LeMay out here, Matthew LeMay. Car 10 will be driven by by Sergeant David Gordon. Car 1 by Stacy Cronin. Car 2, Paul Thibodeau, Theodulu. Car 3, Tony Panetti. Car 4, Shelby Hurdle. Car 5, Nick Bianchini. And of course, here's the 1993 historical car, driven by Michael Fosher. Good to see Sergeant Delafato today.
As well. And Glenn, we always talk about the fact that this is one of the hilliest cities in the country, and it's amazing to see these SUVs.
We see Officer Stacy Cronin this morning, Joshua Lambert, Tabitha Peppel, Ismael Sanchez, Sean Walker, Lucas Bahania, Tyler Cody, and Sergeant Chris Bellafato, Officer Demetrius Phillips, Julie Salas, and Robert Hughes. All good to see you guys this morning. Good to see Tony Panetti in car number 3. Officer Tabitha Peppel, Officer Nick Bianchini, Lieutenant Garcia. Officer Fred Lake. Sergeant Chris Bellafato, good to see you. Demetrius Phillips. Officer Julie Salas, Officer Lucas Bahania, We see Lunenburg Police well represented this morning, Travis. Officer Robert Hughes. Yep. Next division. We see a car from Protective Services this morning.
Yes, and also making their way up right now, we have Envoy Lieutenant Valentine in the passenger seat of the Salvation Army, their Disaster Services Canteen. This is a canteen that responds to areas in Fitchburg, responds to actually crises all over the state and the country, and it's great to see them out here. Their canteen is serving emergencies in our community. They got a summer fun program named Camp Wonderland and a music mentoring program, all free. Other services include social services and their food pantry. And again, Envoy Lieutenant Valentine in the passenger seat right there, and it was great to see their staff last night actually engaging in their first ever fire truck pull. They had a fire truck pull to raise some events, and the winners of that, I believe, were the Fitchburg Fire Department, actually pulling that truck well over 124 feet in under 3 minutes, a 19-ton truck.
Very, very nice. Fitchburg Fire Department giving of themselves, of course, in service to the city.
Tower Ladder 2 passing us right now. Amazing to see that Tower Ladder 2.
Looks like Princeton could use a new truck, Travis.
And it's great to see these historic fire trucks that they bring out for these occasions. They keep these things in working condition, and it's great to see just how much things have changed over the years. To see these traditional trucks and to see our modern trucks right in line together, it's truly a remarkable thing.
Thank you for coming to join us, Princeton Fire.
Joining us as well, Westminster, with a very historic engine as well.
And of course, those famous words, always ready. Westminster bringing us the Horse-drawn engine, pumper. Actually, there's no engine, it's a pumper.
1849, that hand pump, 1849.
And Clinton Fire Department, well represented with this Mack truck here. Very, very nice. You know, for a while, Travis, they were doing this green, safety green color, but I see they've gone back to the red.
They have gone back to the red, but OCAM keeps one of their green historic trucks in action. Here they are with their engine one. Want to thank them for taking the time to come out from the OCAM area this morning just to be a part of the Fitchburg Civic Days 4th of July Parade. And forestry, we have so many different forest areas that do require attention, especially out in the OCAM area. We want to thank their forestry truck for coming out.
Of course, Oakham Forestry Fire District.
Mass Forest Fire Control, very crucial throughout the year, and especially during the summer. And they, again, do a lot of work behind the scenes. We don't always see what forestry does in terms of keeping things under control and ensuring that we don't have those massive forest fires. And folks from Winchendon this morning, I want to thank them for coming out as well.
Winchendon Fire Department, thank you for joining us this morning.
And right now we have members of Vital EMS. They are a new private ambulance company in the area, locally managed and operated with a commitment to focusing on the central Massachusetts area.
Phillipston, well represented this morning with their E1 Engine 3. Thanks for joining us this morning from the Phillipston Fire Department. Now this is an interesting piece of equipment behind the Phillipston engine. This is a ventilator that the Fitchburg Fire Department took delivery of some years back, and this actually assists in fighting a fire where they can add ventilation to the building.
And Fitchburg is home to a number of pieces of equipment that they keep here, as well as they also help out with tech rescues throughout the state. And they host a lot of that equipment here in the city of Fitchburg. And you always hope that you're never going to have to use it, but it's nice to know we have it.
And all of the CERT folks from the Fitchburg Fire Department and EMS, great to see you this morning. Fitchburg Emergency Management.
All the way from out New Ipswich.
From across the border, New Ipswich Engine 1, Travis.
And just down the road on Route 2 in Acton, we have the Acton Fire Department joining us this morning as well.
21 from the Acton Fire Department, our friends to the east. From the Sterling Fire Department this morning, another antique Mack engine.
And listen to the hum of that engine.
One of the things, of course, they look for is making sure they don't overheat on a day like today.
And as we mentioned earlier, it's great to see so many different departments that have these historic pieces of equipment revved up, ready to go to be a part of these parades. And it's just amazing to see we have this historic truck from Sterling, and also we have their E4, their engine 4, right behind that. And it's amazing to see the different transition throughout the years and just how much firefighting has changed.
In such a short period of time, so many advances in our social networks and so many advances in our day-to-day equipment that make us safe. Whether it's a police vehicle or a fire vehicle, Department of Public Works, excavation, construction, amazing changes.
And I know here in the city of Fitchburg, there's actually a lot of history written on the Fitchburg Fire Department history. One of the 4 firefighters, Jordan, actually did a fantastic job putting a book together. His son, Phil Jordan, still in the fire department, but his father actually put together a book on the entire history of firefighting in Fitchburg. I know the Historical Society has a lot of information on that as well.
They do a terrific job of doing a chronology of the advances along the way and the different folks who have sacrificed over the years, of course, and given the ultimate sacrifice in some cases, both on the Fitchburg Fire, Fitchburg Police Department. So we do remember them on today as we celebrate America's independence right here in Fitchburg and across the country. Truly a great 4th of July, Travis.
Absolutely, and earlier this year, I know we already had the Fitchburg Police Memorial Day, and also the Fitchburg Fire held their memorial event, and they do have 2 great memorials, and Fitchburg Fire actually working on updating their memorial. They're actually in that process right now. You can head to the Fitchburg Fire Department's website and learn more about how you can contribute to that effort.
And of course, our citizens joining us today. I see another celebrity, Kelly Martineau, Chief Martineau's wife, joining us this morning for the parade right here on Main Street. So as the Sterling Fire contingent comes our way and moves westerly up Main Street, Travis, the street has filled in very nicely on both sides, both the north and south sides of Main Street in front of the Fidelity Bank building.
And just to put this into perspective for those at home, we are currently in front of the Verizon building, and when you look down, as far as the eye can see to that curve and Main Street, it's amazing to see just siren after siren after siren. This contingency goes on, and right now we've got folks from Air, from the Rescue 1 truck joining us this morning, followed by the folks from Groton. So many different communities spent the time to come out to be a part of this parade. And it's amazing to see how many are joining us this morning.
Now we have Air, we have Groton joining us now with this ladder truck. Ladder 1 from Groton. Good to see Ladder 1 from Groton today. And our neighbors to the north, Westminster, good to see them this morning with Engine 1.
And I see we've got some family members along for the ride in the back over here this morning.
And the Lancaster Fire Department. Good to see Lancaster Fire this morning.
And coming up, we have another historic truck, an old Dodge, joining us from Groton.
This is one of those infamous Dodge Power Wagons that they use in the Forestry Service. And we see those stainless steel tanks that they can run into a wooded area and put water on the fire.
And you see those tires. It's amazing to see just how far they can go and the areas they're able to access with vehicles like that. Shirley's Ladder 1 joining us this morning. Folks from Shirley, I thank them for coming up, for making the trek to be a part of this parade right up of Route 2A. And our friends from over in Ashby. We've got Ashby Engine 2, the real Also, you speak about our neighbors to the west, our friends from the Chair City. We've got Gardner with their combination 4, proudly displaying the Chair City motto on their ladder.
Mayor Hawk, of course, from Gardner, big supporter of getting together with other communities. Good to have Gardner Fire along with us today.
More folks from Gardner this morning.
This is truck 10 from Gardner. Now that's a formidable looking rig there, Travis.
It is their fire rescue truck, and now from Boylston, bring out their ladder 1. Come out and join us, and you can see the sled that they've got on the side if they ever have to make a water rescue.
Welcome, Boylston. Tanker 1 this morning.
Barry joining us with their ladder 1. Camera panned on them.
Barry.
And Barry giving control of the horn over to the little ones this morning, letting them get in on the action.
That could be an inspiration.
More members of the Acton Fire Department joining us. One of their engines already rolling through earlier. Now we sing engine 21 right in front of the podium here, followed by Hubbardston.
As you had mentioned earlier, Travis, they come from all over. It's great to have them come right here to the city of Fitchburg to celebrate Independence Day with us for the 2019 Independence Day Parade, Civic Days Parade.
Absolutely. These trucks have been lined up since early, at least about 8 o'clock, or some of them even here earlier, just getting ready to go with this parade, which started about 10 o'clock or so. And here's Hubbardston's engine 1, followed by more representatives, a strong contingency from Acton with their ladder 28 truck. Got some young ones hanging out the back window. And as you mentioned, an inspiration, some of these young folks right now may end up becoming second or third or maybe even fourth generation firefighters.
You think they can fill my water bottle up for me?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I was talking to Richard Bertori with the Fitchburg Fire Department yesterday, and he was talking about the truck that was using the fire truck pull actually had about 1,000 gallons in it, just in case there was an emergency. He had 1,000 loaded and ready to go, so I think they can fill your water bottle if needed.
Good to see New Braintree here with their fire contingent and another truck from Princeton, Engine 2.
Engine 2 joining us this morning.
And this Pierce truck. Oh, Dave, good to see you, Dave. Dave Richard driving the Princeton Engine 2. Here comes the Fitchburg Access Television Honda Pilot.
And I believe that might be Nate Glennie in the driver's seat this morning.
This is Nate Glennie driving the pilot. You're piloting the pilot. Give it a chuck. There you go.
Oh!
He's injured.
That's fine. That's why I don't play sports, just report on him. But it's great to see Nate. And again, at fatv.org, you can check them out, fatv.org, find out about all the different channels they've got for Verizon and Comcast. And also, they're streaming online at fatv.org.
It is that time again.
Cars rolling in.
It is that time again, Travis, for the antique cars. And here we have Dan's division, named after the late Dan DeGrazelia. The group's goal is to honor the veterans by restoring and displaying antique military vehicles. They're coming along as well. Yep. And from the Antique Auto Club, this 1931 Ford sedan owned by George Pierce. Great to see them today. This 1928 Ford Model A Roadster in front of us from Mark Butler, Greg Butler, Gene, and Jack Bombara. And the 1993 Ford F800 from Ray Morin Construction. And Cole is driving that vehicle this morning. Behind that, we have a 1998 Mercedes-Benz. This is known as the Pagoda vehicle. Was he driving this? Yep. Very good. Good to see these folks this morning. with our annual antique car contingent in the division. This 1956 Chevy Model 210 Sport Coupe from Dave Carboni. He won first prize last night. Good to see you, Dave.
Got some minions in the back, I see, joining him as well this morning.
He does indeed. And a 2017 Corvette by someone we always see here in the Independence Day Civic Days Parade in Fitchburg, Bill Franklin. Good to see him this morning. Saw him last night at the block party. He's with Maxi Turk. Bill Franklin's 2017 Grand Sport Corvette, Chevrolet Corvette. And of course, we always remember Bill's 1956 Ford Crown Victoria that he had years back. And we have Billy Walsh this morning, number 7, in his 65 Ford Mustang convertible. Harkening back to the year 1964 with this Rambler Classic driven by Matt Barber. And directly behind this, a Cadillac Coupe de Ville from 1976 driven by James Raposa. And he is accompanied by John Raposa, affectionately known as Rappa. Now I think, Travis, without a doubt, this 1912 Ford C-Cab driven by Al Cadret and given third prize last night is for sure one of the finer entries in this division.
Absolutely, representing the Settle Shop this morning. And truly a fine piece of machinery all the way back from 1912.
And sporting some really fancy chrome wheels this morning, we have Happy driving Chevy Tahoe, the 2019 Chevy Tahoe, fully outfitted this morning.
And Glenn, I can see your reflection perfectly in those rims.
Well, that's how it happens. Something we see every year is this 1979 Lincoln Signature Series Mark V.
Yes.
And this Mazda Miata driven by Gary Nelson, and he's accompanied by Mark Ledger. Good to see them this morning.
Two tall guys in a small car.
Number 14 in the division, Model A Ford, 1931 Model A Ford, driven by John Cadret. This has one of the, it's got even a little fireworks going on with a little bit of a backfire, as they say. He's going to adjust that.
He's going to adjust, and what's remarkable, too, is when you see the amount of work that's put into the machinery behind these to keep these older cars running. We've got cars as far back as 1912 that these people have restored, that they've gone moving. And
he's trying to adjust the throttle and the spark to make this run without the fireworks.
There we go.
As the 1931 Model A pulls away, a 1941 Studebaker driven by Dan Godin. Good to see him, Dana Godin. And a 1979 Ford F-150 by Billy Schultz. He's here every year. Good to see Billy this morning. And he is with Norma.
And joining us right now, we have a 1963 Thunderbird convertible joining us on car number 17 this morning, driven by, they actually won second place last night. We got Sam in the driver's seat this morning. A beautiful piece of machinery, an old Thunderbird right there moving along. Right now we have a 1957 Chevy Bel Air driven by Michael McLaughlin. Also in the passenger seat, Madeline. I want to thank them for coming out today.
And we remember Madeline when she was much younger and smaller, sitting in the back seat, Michael.
Well, she's moved up to the front passenger seat.
People grow up, right? Some of us, Michael, grow up.
Followed by in 1932, we've got an old Ford. Actually, it's, sorry, I skipped one
Chevrolet
right
Bel Air,
there.
the 56. The 55 Chevy Bel Air.
It's great to see that two Bel Airs back to back.
Yes.
You can see how they changed a little bit over the few years in between.
And then we have a 32 Ford dump truck driven by Walter. He's with Dylan, Zach, Christine, and Jacob.
Yes, they're having fun in the back seat, getting a perfect view of the parade, enjoying throwing out some candy this morning as well.
All right. Fitchburg Rotary East represented this morning, Travis. We see Bobby Campbell joining the contingent. It's a float.
I want to thank the Fitchburg East Rotary for all that they do. Some tremendous work throughout the area.
Good to see Bobby Campbell, of course, a member of the Fitchburg East Rotary Club, and all of the folks on board. Mike Hurley, president.
Yes.
And, you know, Bobby Campbell's been engaged and involved in the city of Fitchburg for a long time in so many different ways. You see him watering the flower boxes on the sides of the main street, and just very dedicated to the city. Good to see you, Bobby Campbell.
Joining us right now, the folks from West Fitchburg Auto Body. Getting in an auto accident is stressful, but with West Fitchburg Auto Body Collision Center, the repair process doesn't have to be. Been in the business for over 40 years, and their experienced team has helped customers get back on the road safely. And they've got a very important reminder this morning, don't text and drive. And more folks from the West Fitchburg Auto Body coming out to be a part this morning. They will work with you to make sure your vehicle is restored to its pre-accident condition. It's their goal to get your vehicle running like new, no matter what kind of damage it experienced. And again, with an important message on their first car, don't text and drive. Our friends from Big D's Detailing joining us right now. I want to thank them for coming out today. I know they've been quite busy. That's all right. We're happy to have you here.
Big D's, of course, out in West Fitchburg. Great guy and works hard to make the car just the way it used to be when you first took delivery of it. Of course, Fitchburg State University, the elite sponsor of the 4th of July Parade this morning, Independence Day 2019, Civic Days Parade downtown Fitchburg, and our military vehicle contingent, Travis, joins us now.
Yes, we want to thank the National Guard for coming out this morning. Thank you so much for your service, and thanks for being a part, helping to lead that right beyond the banner. And we're going to start off with our military, Dan's Division. As we mentioned, a little bit out of order. We're happy to have them here. They're named after the late Dan Dorozieliers. Their goal is to honor our veterans by restoring and displaying antique military vehicles, and that's exactly what you're going to see right now. A 1942 Ford GPW owned and driven by James of Townsend. Passengers, World War II veteran Leo LeBlanc of Fitchburg. Leo, we want to thank you for your service.
Great to see you
Michelle
guys
Marino,
here today.
in charge of the Fitchburg Veterans Services, riding in the back. Michelle does so much for the community, so I want to thank her.
Coming up in the number 2 position, a 1946 Willys Jeep owned by Tom Khalil of Townsend, and the passenger is World War II veteran Maurice Mo Tremblay of Fitchburg. Mo, we remember you from the Antique Auto Club. It's great to see you riding in this vehicle today.
Yes, and it's great to see how this division has been able to bring some of our World War II veterans out to this, and a lot of our servicemen and women you'll be seeing riding the driver and passenger seats. It's great to see them honored on 4th of July.
One of the famous vehicles, of course, of the past, the 41 Dodge Power Wagon from the military contingent, the WC-12, the de Grisellia family, and the driver today, Henry Savigny. Good to see you, Red. We have a 1945 Dodge WC-63 cab chassis, a de Grisellia family entry with Michael Bursch driving it, and a 1943 GMC CCKW 2.5 ton, also given to us by the de Grisellia family, with Paul de Grisellia and Nancy de Grisellia in with us today,
yes,
and a contingent behind us.
And a lot of folks, as we mentioned, a lot of these are being owned by the de Grisellia family, and it's been amazing to see their commitment to restoring these vehicles so we can have them in events like this Fitchburg Civic Days 4th of July Parade. The de Grisellia family, got to thank them for all the hard work that they've done, and we've got another vehicle owned by the de Grisellia family. I believe this is the 1944
GMC.
Yes, 2.5 ton right there, driven by Wayne Cody this morning. On the passengers, we have Hannah, their son Connor, and their friend Dawn as well, and some other folks in the back, so I want to thank them for joining us.
Good to see this entry this morning. How are you? Good to see you, Wayne. You know, these small Jeeps are a real popular item amongst collectors alike. This entry number 7 of the Ford GPW, along with us from the de Grisellia family collection, Jim Mara driving this Jeep this morning with his friends. Good to see you this morning. And of course, number 8.
Yes, the 1944 Willys MB also joining us. The Degrazellier family providing this Jeep and driving it. Don Revert this morning.
Don Revard, good to see you this morning. Followed up by the celebrated 1960, a great year by the way, Travis. The Ford M151. The owners of this vehicle are Dave and Diane Thibodeau. Driving, of course, is Tibbs, Dave Thibodeau, and the passenger Diane.
And George LeBlanc in the back.
George LeBlanc in the back,
On
celebrating
candy duty.
Civic. Yep.
Trading in his rifle duty this morning for candy duty.
Civic days. And number 10, the 1962 M35 2.5 ton was built by the late Dan Degrazellier. The rear axles removed, separated to accept the larger tires, and the truck is affectionately known as the Frankendeuce.
Yes, and driven this morning by Buddy. Bud Light Bedard also in the passenger seat. His granddaughters Madison, Kelsey, and Caitlin.
Now, I do have to tell you, Travis, one of the incredible entries always in the Civic Days Parade is the George Talcott Band. Of course, they're driving the Scholarship Fund again this morning. George Talcott Band comes out of the American Legion Post 10.
Named after George S. Talcott in memory of his service and dedication over the years as director of the American Legion Post 10 Band.
Towed this morning by a entry and donation of the Oliva Excavating Company out of Fitchburg and Lunenburg. It's good to see the Oliva Construction Company, Excavating Company helping out this morning.
American Legion Post 10 Band, driven this morning by Oliva Excavating in Fitchburg and Lunenburg. I thank the George S. Talcott Band for coming out.
We want to thank the George Talcott Band, and of course, pulling up the rear, the drummer John Beauchesne. Good to see you, John, this morning. Those folks that keep us safe, next. Under the direction of Fire Chief Kevin Roy, Travis, this special contingent of our Fitchburg firefighters, great to see them this morning. I see firefighter and Jollimore and his colleagues, Lieutenant Phil Jordan, Chief Roy.
All right, Chief.
Captain P.J. Roy.
And we do want to thank the Chief and also members of his department who come on the air every first Tuesday of the month on the K-Zone Morning Commute Radio Show. And we now have the Rescue 1 engine, followed by that. And joining us right now, coming up, made his way up to the truck earlier to do a little interview with us before the parade started. We have Fitchburg Mayor Stephen DiNatale, currently in his second term as mayor, raised in Leominster, but we won't hold that against him. He's been a member of Fitchburg, a resident of Fitchburg for well over 35 years, proud graduate of St. Bernard's High School, also a veteran himself, member of the U.S. Navy, spending time serving his country, served as state representative for the area for a number of years before becoming mayor of Fitchburg. Happy 4th.
Good to see the mayor this morning. He was a guest earlier this morning.
And Joanne driving. Joan, want to thank you for driving this morning. Joan David does tremendous work. State Representative Natalie Higgins, also State Representative Stephen Hay walking this morning, followed by also following us, State Senator Dean Tran and the Tran family.
Senator Tran, good to see you this morning and all that you do
Dino
for us
walking as well
in the city of Boston, representing the city of Fitchburg.
Yes, followed
and
by
district.
Register of Probate Stephanie Fatman walking the parade. She had a table last night. And also our Fitchburg City Councilors, want to thank them for being a part of the broadcast this morning and for joining us in the parade.
We see councilors Amy Green, Paul Boschman, Sam Squalia,
Joel Caddy, Michael Kushner, Kushmarek, Marisa Fleming, and Elizabeth Walsh all joining us this morning.
We see Anthony Zarella, and of course Councilor Donnelly, School Committee member Aidan Horgan.
Yes. Also got School Committee member Sally Cragen on the other side helping to pass out candy this morning.
And Elizabeth Walsh, Marissa
Happy
Fleming.
I want to thank Fitchburg Cheerleading for joining us this morning. Happy 4th of July to the cheerleaders. I want to thank them for coming out. We got cheerleaders of past and present.
Great showing of the Fitchburg cheerleaders. Joining us up here in the reviewing stand, Travis, is Alex Vera. Alex is taking the lead on some of this UNESCO work that the Rotary Club is doing. Mm-hmm. And we have more representation here.
Yes, I want to thank the Fitchburg High School band for joining us as well. And they come out to so many different community events, whether it's Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Labor Day events. They are out at all the different events, making sure there's a soundtrack to that. The marching band is very active as well during the football season.
Of course, the Civic Days Committee puts this together, and as the mayor had said, they're already working on next year. So this is very exciting work.
Yes, I want to thank a big thank you to our volunteers, the 2019 volunteers, Diana Ray Burnett, also AJ Turigny, Nate LaRose, Jim McGrath, Brian Butler, and of course Mary Hanlon, who's up here in the parade stand as well. And I know we mentioned the Burnetts, their entire family involved in this parade. It's great to see them. We got some mini ducks. Don't forget, you can still get... Caught it. There we go. Redeemed myself from the Laffy Taffy incident earlier. So we'll have more Civic Days ducks. You can actually purchase your ducks today as well as at the Civic Days Amazing Duck Race this Saturday. And they've got the brand new Super Duck, which could increase your cash prizes. And they've got even prizes for the very last duck. And I believe they've got a duck gun, I believe that is. I think they're going to launch some ducks.
I think they're launching.
No, they're launching ducks and T-shirts. Wow.
It's a duck launch and a T-shirt.
That's pretty remarkable. Happy 4th. And that is Molly the Clown. She loves to interact and entertain crowds. She has been a staple of the Civic Days over the years.
Of course, no parade would be complete without a marshal. And of course, this year's marshal is Sharon Bernard from the Fitchburg Public Library, driven in this beautiful example of a late model Bentley convertible this morning, driven by Rick Bosgard and Travis.
Yes, and we got to give a big shout out to Sharon. Been involved with the library for decades. Been working with the library for 41 of the last 48 years. Been a part of the community, helping to grow the library and helping to be an inspiration to so many kids and adults who have walked through those doors.
Sharon was a 1999 English major from Fitchburg State University. She's currently a member of the Rotary Club and involved behind the scenes with theater in the city. I want to remind everyone that the public library is one of the hidden gems, complete with internet, computers, daily newspapers, and services to help you find a job. With your library card, you can borrow for free gardening and simple home repair. And then next, of course, the senior king and queen in this Chrysler convertible. Queen Patricia and King Patrick. Good to see them this morning. Patrick, a longtime volunteer of the Fitchburg Senior Center.
And Patricia's been attending the parade for many years with her children and grandchildren, as you mentioned. Patrick, longtime volunteer at the Senior Center. I want to thank both of them for being in the parade this morning.
Rotary District 7910 and the Fitchburg Club, Rotary Club of Fitchburg, enters this float to climb aboard Rotary. Find out what you can do for Rotary clubs in your district or in your city. Fitchburg Rotary Club represented here today, driven by Barry Wortman in this pickup truck here. The float, of course, full of our Rotary Club members, Alex Vera, some children from the Fusco family, some grandchildren, Karen Fusco, past President Dan Cunningham with us, Shirley Martin, great to see them. Great shirts this morning, and of course, past President Denise Wortman in the passenger seat with Barry.
Yes, and Dan yesterday was in the fire truck, so today we're in the back of the pickup truck.
There are 1.2 million Rotarians around the world, Travis, making a positive change in local communities and around the world. The motto is service above self, and the goal is to end polio in one of the things that they do. Great float this morning. Do you think it floats?
We can find out. Also joining us, folks from the Charles W. Moore Lodge and Fitchburg and Leominster Shriners. Want to welcome them for joining us. Charles W. Moore Lodge of Masons has been an integral part of the community of Fitchburg for over 150 years. First established back in 1865. In that span, they've touched 3 centuries and 2 millennia. Local Freemasons have been witnesses and influencers to events and changes that have shaped the world into what it is today. And the Fitchburg and Leominster Shriners raise money for 23 hospitals attached to their namesake across the world, including 2 in Massachusetts. And I know the Charles W. Moore Lodge does a number of outreach events throughout the years, and the big event has to do with the fingerprinting for children that they partner with the local police and fire departments for every year. And I want to thank our Fitchburg Girl Scouts for coming out this morning as well, for joining us. They allow girls to discover the fun, friendship, and power of girls together while building their own personal leadership qualities. The Fitchburg Service Unit serves over 100 girls in grades K through 12. More representatives of the Girl Scouts this morning, being driven by Pride Towing of Fitchburg on South Street. Want to thank them for coming out. Looks like they've got some tasty marshmallows this morning.
No fire, though. We could do it in the sun today, Travis. Cub Scouts Boy Scout Pack 17. Travis, this morning, founded in 1959 and chartered through the St. Bernard's Elementary School, this Cub Scout program prepares youth to become responsible participating citizens and leaders guided by the Scout oath and law. Some of those activities by Pack 17 this past year with an urban hike through downtown, overnight Sturbridge Village, and an overnight at the St. Bernard's Activity Center where they played games into the night. Pack 17.
Yes, and now we've got the Boy Scouts America Fitchburg Troop 17, boys age 11 through 17, chartered by the Knights of Columbus. Want to thank them for coming out this morning, for being a part of the parade.
Boy Scouts Troop 41 and Cub Scouts Pack 41 also represented. Cub Scouts is a fun program for boys and girls grades K through 5, and it develops character, citizenship, and fitness.
And we also want to give a very happy 4th to the members of Special Needs Boy Scout Troop 823 for joining us this morning. I want to thank 823. And we also have over 60 years, so happy 4th to them, over 60 years they have been involved. And it's great to see the involvement of 823. Sponsored by the UCT Council 823. We got more folks riding in the trucks this morning. Thank you. Happy 4th of July.
More from Troop 41 and the Cub Scouts Pack. This is boys and girls K through 5 this morning, developing character, citizenship, and fitness.
And they'll even set up a tent on top of your car.
You can't top that.
I don't believe so. More folks from Troop 41 joining us this morning.
Have a big hand for these scouts who have walked this entire route today.
We've got the Bluff Point Quahog Diggers Band joining us this morning. I like the Quahog Diggers. They've been a member of the parade for a number of years. Followed by Fitchburg Youth Soccer, been an integral part of the community since starting back in the mid-1980s. They currently run programs year-round, spring and fall seasons with additional summer clinics and indoor teams throughout the winter. I want to thank Fitchburg Youth Soccer for joining us this morning. You play some soccer on the sidelines over here.
They currently use Coolidge Park and Morin Park. Fitchburg Youth Soccer currently runs programs year-round, spring and fall seasons, with an additional summer clinic and indoor teams throughout the winter.
And following them, we have our folks from the Fitchburg Youth Football, followed by the Fitchburg Cheerleaders as well. I want to thank them for joining us. Happy 4th. They're taking signups right now. Head to FitchburgYouthRaiders.org. That's FitchburgYouthRaiders.org. Followed by our folks from the Bay State Brawlers Roller Derby. Whoa. Find out more by heading to BayStateBrawlers.com. They've got a great reputation, and they've been expanding in their fandom over the years. It's been great to see them. Their 2019 is their 8th season of competitive play already. In that time, their league has been proud to become the 2nd most highly ranked league in Massachusetts.
Coming up next, of course, driven in this extra cab ramp truck by one of our local greats, Doug DiDamaso. It's great to see him this morning. Driving the Fitchburg Friends of Dogs. Lose the leash and join us at the dog park. Coolidge Park is now open and free for everyone to use and enjoy. Dog parks provide a fenced-in area where the dogs can run freely off leash and socialize with their dog buddies. Go to fitchburgdogpark.org for more information or follow on Facebook at Fitchburg Dog Park.
And those dogs are having fun this morning. And I see Eddie Troxler on guitar as well.
From Eddie's Music. Thank you, Eddie. I think we have the Jester coming. Heading up Division D.
Yes, we've got our Jester on stilts.
She could change a few light bulbs.
She could change, I think, more than that, yeah.
Could change the light bulbs in the street lights.
The flagpoles, we could update those. Anything else we need done here? She could have set this whole tent up for us as well.
And of course, if you're joining us, the live telecast on Fitchburg Access Television, the crew, David Oster, John Dextrez, Travis Falk, Matt Carroll, Nicole Gaffney.
And joining us right now, we have our folks in the Great Wolf Lodge of New England. They redefine year-round waterproof family fun with a massive 84-degree indoor water park, play Magic Quest, indoor rope course, golfing arcades, nightly story times, rope course, and more. They're an indoor water park resort that has locations in Boston and in Fitchburg. Family fun awaits you and offers you the opportunity to swim, splash, and slide.
Great Wolf's been a great community partner as well. Supporting a lot of the endeavors that we've had locally, of course, Travis. Weatherproof your family vacation for the best indoor water park in the Northeast, Great Wolf Lodge of New England.
And you mentioned being a part of the community. They have been so many different events. They've done giveaways. They've hosted Chamber of Commerce events. Really done a lot to get the community involved and to really embed themselves in the community here in Fitchburg. And they have become a family fun destination. And more representatives are our friends over at Great Wolf Lodge, doing the Great Wolf Stomp.
Special shout out to Harry Tessman, of course, General Manager up at Great Wolf, and doing a great job.
I just want to take a quick moment right now to thank the 2019 volunteers again with the Fitchburg Civic Days. Diane Burnett, AJ Burnett, the entire Burnett family, AJ Turigny, Nate LaRose, Jim McGrath, Brian Butler, Mary Hanlon. And a big thank you again to the FATV, Fitchburg Police, Fitchburg DPW, Fitchburg Fire. And Glenn, I want to thank you for inviting me back for another year to be a part of this broadcast.
Well, the invitation is all yours now, Travis. I'm handing this baton over to you to be the lead, as you do such a great job with WPKZ, FM 105.3, and of course, AM 1280, formerly known as WEIM, and all of the late, great Ray C. memories that we have at this 4th of July celebration.
Yes, and making new memories. And we do want to thank the Shalford family for dropping off a banner with us for us to have for future years. We'll be putting this banner up, and it will be a part of our broadcast. And the Ray C. Memorial Car Show was well attended last night. And I know we talked about the different winners during that division. We'll talk about some other winners, because I know coming up in just a bit we'll find out who the winners are of the parade as they come through. Had first and second prize winners as they come through. We'll announce those for the parade.
None of this, of course, could be possible without the 2019 sponsors of the Civic Days Parade and the celebrations that we see in front and in back of this. Of course, we still have the duck race on the 9th, and we still have the Lon Joe Classic Bike Race that's going to continue. Fitchburg Redevelopment Authority, the RE/MAX Patriot Realty King team, Dave King, of course, RE/MAX Patriot Realty, Fitchburg State University, AIS, UMass Memorial Health Alliance, Clinton Hospital, Enterprise Bank, Rollstone Bank and Trust,
the Mass Cultural Council, Workers Credit Union, Fidelity Bank, Sentinel Enterprise, Unitil, Gold Bowl, Leominster Credit Union, Aldrich, FATV, Visit North Central Mass, Commonwealth of Mass, TD Bank, DRS Technologies, Mount Wachusett Community College.
Of course, we know that there are a number of different events that have already taken place, the Beer Fest and the nonprofit Beers for Good, and Canopy Lake Park, Crystal Cleaners, Fitchburg North of Maine, Polar Beverages, Fun Stuff Party Rentals, all sponsors of the 2019 Civic Days Parade celebration.
Yes, and last night they had Abe Lincoln, and today we have some colonial reenactors joining us, members of the Fitchburg Republican City Committee, making their way up. Mary Lotz helping to carry that banner this morning. And the Fitchburg Republican Committee is sponsoring 4 elements in this year's 4th of July parade, all focused on America's history dating from the American Revolution, Civil War, and the Second World War, with a float depicting Washington's crossing of the Delaware, which we'll see in just a moment here on as the 4th of July parade continues. I want to thank the Fitchburg Rangers in the American Revolution. No fewer than 169 Fitchburg men out of a total population of only 800 at the time fought in various campaigns, from the Siege of Boston and Bunker Hill to Long Island and New Jersey, Brandywine, Germantown, Bennington. They suffered at Valley Forge and were even at Yorktown, Saratoga. The Fitchburg Rangers symbolized service in the cause of American independence.
And of course, right in front of us now, the Fitchburg Republican City Committee. In front of the reviewing stand. Good to see you this morning.
And they're also representing with their group this morning the Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry. The 15th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment served in the American Civil War from 1861 to 1864, made up of men from Worcester County, including many from Fitchburg, sustaining heavy casualties at the Battle of Ball's Bluff in Virginia in October 1861, and Antietam in September of 1862, fought at Gettysburg. And the 15th Massachusetts has taken part in the Fitchburg 4th of July parade for 3 consecutive years. So I believe they're going to be making their way down here in just a moment.
Oh, sure.
And as the parade continues, I want to thank the hard-working folks who made this event possible. Again, the Fitchburg Redevelopment Authority for sponsoring this, RE/MAX, Patriot Realty, the King Team, Fitchburg State University, AIS, UMass Memorial Health Alliance, Clinton Hospital, Enterprise Bank, Rollstone Bank and Trust, the Mass Cultural Council, Workers Credit Union, Fidelity Bank, Sentinel Enterprise, Unitil, Gold Bowl, Leominster Credit Union, Aldrich, FATV, Visit North Central Mass, Commonwealth of Mass, TD Bank, DRS Technologies, Mount Wachusett Community College, our friends over at Beers for Good, Canopy Lake Park, Crystal Cleaners, Fitchburg, North of Maine, Polar Beverages, Fun Stuff party rentals, and you're going to start hearing some volley as those continue. We do want to thank the volunteers for making this event possible, and don't forget the Civic Days events continue with the Fitchburg Civic Days Duck Race, a big fundraiser which helps to make events like this possible, like the block party last night, 4th of July parade today. Ducks are still on sale. You can pick them up right up until just before the race is about to begin this weekend over at Riverfront Park on Saturday. We'll see you out there. It's going to be a great event. That's this Saturday, this weekend. And they've got a lot of events that are going to be happening over at the Civic Days Duck Race. I believe they're going to have Wally the Green Monster will be there, as well as an all-new dog entertainment show before that action gets underway. Plus, you'll be able to paint ducks, and you'll be able to, of course, buy your ducks for the amazing Civic Days Duck Race. And they've got the return of the Super Duck. What they're going to do is all the ducks that they sell, one of those numbers will be randomly placed into an envelope. And if that duck is the first one across, well, so when the ducks come across, we'll make note of what the first duck is, and when they open that envelope, if that is the same number, that person will actually receive a lot more in terms of prizes and financial prizes. And they've got some great prizes, whether it's money, whether it's tickets. I believe they got Red Sox tickets, Paw Sox tickets, and more. And they've even got a prize for the last place duck, so you want to stick around for the end of the race, because the very last duck will also get a prize.
This celebration isn't even close to over, Travis. We've still got so much more in these divisions coming ahead. And of course, the duck race on July 9th, just so much more to be involved in and take part in right here in the Civic Day celebration in the city of Fitchburg.
And as we mentioned, the Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry, I believe, making their way up right now. You can hear that volley. And we mentioned this earlier, but it's just amazing to see the amount of volunteerism throughout Fitchburg and North Worcester County since the early days and all the way up through the Civil War, again, participating in a number of battles throughout the years. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for being here.
Reminds us again of how things have progressed over the years.
Absolutely. And I also want to mention the Yankee Division, the 26th Infantry Division, established as America's entry into World War I in 1917. Because it was made of New Englanders, it acquired the nickname the Yankee Division. Fought in France from February to November of 1918. In World War II, the unit fought just across France to the German Rhineland. The Yankee Division is represented for us by that Jeep driver, Morgan Jelanowski of the Minuteman Armory in Templeton. And also, this is the parade we mentioned earlier, Washington crossing the Delaware float. Andrew Kutcher is Washington this morning, joining us, his family as well. By late 1776, we had lost nearly our war for freedom after British and Hessian forces drove Washington's army out of New York. And that was when Washington hatched a plan to recover. Boats would be assembled to carry the army across the Delaware on Christmas night and surprise the Hessians at Trenton. And we can say the rest is history.
And I thought I saw a familiar face there, Andrew Kutcher.
Yes, our friends from Roll On America, Fun America at Roll On America, joining us just 20 minutes from Worcester and the Concord Rotary, offering traditional roller skating and rollerblading and improve the experiences with something for everyone. They've got laser tag, their games as well. You can play to win tickets at their Redemption Arcade, which contains over 25 games, including the ever-popular skee ball and state-of-the-art crane games. And they've got their Games Cafe as well and the Reward Zone. Go check out our friends over at Roll On America. Trend in motion, right? And this right now joining us, we have Boston's Trend in Motion. They're a performance group dedicated to preserving art in urban areas. Dance is their passion, music is their soul, and love is in their heart. Also want to give a shout out to the Unknown Hype dance group as well this morning. It's great to see
Thank you
kids of
very
all
much.
ages joining us. Very coordinated.
Great addition to today's celebration, Travis.
Absolutely.
Joining us now, the Life Care Centers of America at the Highlands. There are a few symbols of pure Americana more potent than the Disney theme parks. To walk down any of the destination's manicured main streets USA, as hundreds of thousands of visitors do each year. Life Care Centers of America believes small town values. 2, offer optimism to their residents, energy through their staff, and innovation by creating a home-like environment to their residents and families.
And right now we have the Fitchburg Vacation Bible School, the SDA, the 2019 SDA Church, where love welcomes every tribe and tongue nation. They're inviting you to the incredible race, VBS, discovering no matter where we live, what shade of skin we have, or what language we speak, we are all part of the same race, the human race. That's going to be happening August 5th through the 10th. Head to FitchburgSDAchurch.com.
The moment we've all been waiting for, Travis, the revolving museum coming with their 2019 display with this moving, rolling museum. Jerry Beck, of course, behind the wheel and the founder of the Revolving Art Museum. The Revolving Art Museum's public art poetry mobile, featuring over 300 poems created by local artists, poets, youth, and community members.
They actually held an event earlier this year over at the Fitchburg Public Library where folks from the public were encouraged to come out and contribute. And when you see the outside of this trailer, it's important to note that inside is even more exhibits and more things to check out. So inside that trailer, which they are bringing, they've got even more art. And that revolving museum is going to be making tour stops throughout several states across the New England area as the summer progresses, heading out of Fitchburg and around the area. And right now we have members of the Crossroads Community Church located on Ashby State Road, where they exist to enable real people to experience the love and power of God. They endeavor to show the love of Jesus to the city of Fitchburg each year through their We Love Our City campaign and their annual Rock the Block event, which will be happening next month in August. Happy to have them this morning.
Everybody's on the bus, Travis.
Absolutely. And another group we've continued to see out every year, I know Farrakhan and the Mahmood family, the rest of this group out here with the Ahmadiyya Muslim community joining us this morning more than a century ago. They say Ahmad had emphatically declared that the doctrine of violent jihad goes against the teachings of the Holy Quran, the practice. And so instead they penned more than 80 books and thousands of letters and delivered countless lectures and engaged in public debates. And their motto is love for all, hatred for none. Very happy to see them out here this morning. Farrakhan, always good seeing you. Thank you so much.
Good to
Happy
see the
4th of
Ahmadiyya
July.
community with us this morning.
Today, by the way, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community has built more than 15,000 mosques, more than 500 schools, and more than 500 hospitals. And they have a variety of events here in Fitchburg. You can learn more at muslimsforpeace.org. I know they have their coffee events and their different festival events as well. I want to thank them for joining us this morning.
It's also important to mention the incredible return of so many folks that come to see us every single year. Travis, it shows commitment to the community, both from the faith-based initiatives, public safety folks, everyone who makes up the greater Fitchburg area.
Yes, and talking about our faith-based organizations, we now have the Fitchburg Christian Church coming by. The Plymouth Rock, by the way, is the traditional site of the landing of the Mayflower in 1620. Mayflower Compact signed by new immigrants and two patriotic heroes, Reverend John Wise and President George Washington, joining faith and political action to change America. And we have joining us the Faith Christian Church representing that this morning.
You know, in Washington's inaugural address, he said it would be improper to omit in this first official act his fervent supplications to God, who rules over the universe and presides over the councils of nations.
And these two heroes of the revolution show us that we can never separate church and state. Only when faith and government walk hand in hand will we have the best opportunity for success. And more representatives of the Faith Christian Church coming up and continuing that Plymouth Rock tradition that we see today that you and I were talking about just a moment ago with the rock right there, the 1620. And we do want to thank them for coming out this morning. And our very own board of director, Howard Shad, dressed up as well this morning. He was cutting a rug last night, and it's always great to see Howard Shad, and he's got a great show on FATV as well.
I see Reverend Don Long with us this morning as well on that float. Howard always has a different outfit July 4th.
He does every year. Well, it took me a second. I thought it was him. Now
It's
I'm
him?
100% sure. Now we have some great puppets.
I think we're getting a visit from another place.
The Emmanuel Puppets are here this morning. We want to thank them for joining
I think
us.
it's another place.
And the coordination to walk that far in these puppets is remarkable.
Just want to make sure Mary doesn't walk the plank out here. It's the rock.
Tom from the Berg in the back seat this morning. I thank the folks from RNS Hauling and Excavating for providing this float, and also the Ledger family for the making of this beautiful boulder. The float, by the way, built with 95% repurposed materials. These are our folks from the Horizon Christian Fellowship. I believe they were one of the winners of this. They're the first prize float winner. Happy to see this group on, again, the Rock of Ages, and find out more by heading to myvbs.org/Horizon Fun and Fitness. Tremendous work, and again, 95% of that all recycled materials.
Well, and as you can see, it emulates the famous Rollstone boulder because it's all about the rock.
Yes, and Tom from the Berg, one of our frequent callers in the back, cooling everybody down. Again, that's the first prize winner right there, and tremendous work with that float. Happy to see that. And we also want to thank our folks from Renew FM, from WJXP, WFGL, WJWT, and WTYN for joining us. Renew
Christian
FM.
Radio.
Yes, bringing the message of life and hope to the central New England area through contemporary Christian music and simple, straightforward Bible teaching. It's their hope that everyone would be encouraged and challenged through their broadcasts, and for those who don't know God would be drawn to Him. I'd like to thank Colonial West Chevrolet for their support in providing the vehicles this morning. Find out more at renewfm.org. That's renewfm.org.
Colonial West Chevrolet, a great sponsor of a lot of different organizations here in the city. They really do their part to be part of the community. The manager down there, Jeff Chandler at Colonial West Chevrolet, really good organization.
And we mentioned the first prize winner, Horizon, passing about two floats ago. Now we have our second prize winner, the New Worcester County Pride, coming up right now. North Worcester County Pride is remembering the past and creating their future with the first ever LGBTQIA plus Pride Festival at Riverfront Park coming up on July 20th from 12 to 5 p.m. Their float honors the historic national landmark of the Stonewall Inn, where the uprising took place 50 years ago and gave birth to the gay rights movement that we know today. Hence the Stonewall Inn. They had the 50 on the front. This is the second prize winner, being driven by Aldrich Towing this morning. I want to thank them. Head to NoLocoPride.org. We got more representatives from North Worcester County Pride. And again, their event is happening a little bit later on this month. That's coming up on July 20th. Thank you for coming out. That's the number 2 this morning. Followed by our friends over at Lamachia Realty, located in Leominster, Mass., providing home sellers and buyers with reliable realtors and real estate agents. They were started in 2005. They expanded and grown to be one of the leading real estate companies. We also have KBS Entertainment with us this morning. KBS Entertainment for your live entertainment needs.
We have one of the original Ron Bouchard's modified races.
Yes, and the Ron
He used
Bouchard
to,
Racing Museum.
Race at Stafford Springs, Connecticut, back in the day before his 1986 win in Talladega. Modified Ford Pinto here.
And it's amazing to see the history over at the Ron Bouchard Racing Museum. To see these cars up close and personal. We're getting a glimpse That's just a few pieces of the equipment that they have over at the Ron Bouchard Racing Museum. Want to see that Ram truck they've got? Don't forget to check out all the different Chryslers that they have as well. Listen to that rev this morning.
It's an original Ron Bouchard racing car right there. Ron has always been his family's always been a great contributor to the community. And of course, we tragically lost Ron earlier than expected, but
absolutely. Here's
Ron
the number
gave so
47
much.
car.
And of course, he's opened the Racing Museum. It's a great visit. At his auto store down in Lancaster. Reverend Tommy Hughes this morning.
Yes, the new Creation Community Church joining us, being driven by Silvio's Masonry Landscaping. And the new Creation Community Church getting everybody ramped up and ready to go for the next group of races that we have. And we've got the Mass Trail Riders, New England-based club nationwide with 4,500 memberships strong. Great group of ATV and UTV enthusiasts. They're also in partnership with the 508 INT and the Trail Riders, created in 2012 with 15 members. Today, over 4,000. They put on events, charity rides, and raffles. They've donated to towns and other clubs, and they're quickly growing to one of the largest ATV groups in New England. Find them on Facebook today. Again, the Mass Trail Riders. Also coming up, we'll have the Bay State Jeepers making their way a little further down. We got the Jeepers. And the Bay State Jeepers are nationwide with 4,500 memberships strong. A great group of ATV and UTV enthusiasts. Also in partnership with the 508 INT in Charlton. They're a New England-based club that is nationwide, and they welcome anyone to join. Find them online at matrailriders.com. And these vehicles are fun to drive. They're fun to ride in. It's just a great time and a great way to get out. And look at the balance on this as they go by. 2 wheels. And more members of the Trail Riders this morning.
They've got music, Travis.
They do. And they're driven by the West Street Service Center up in Garner this morning.
How you doing? How you guys doing? Are you guys having fun?
We are. How are you?
We're doing wonderful. Thank you for having us. Mass Trail Riders, Base DJ, just having a little fun in Pittsburgh. Thank you for having us once again.
Absolutely. And the Mass Trail Riders, again, over 4,500 members. Excellent to see the Mass Trail Riders and a whole group of young rider enthusiasts as well.
Down the street. How you doing over there? And I'm working the camera.
And as we mentioned, following the Mass Trail Riders, we got the Bay State Jeepers coming up. And the Bay State Jeepers, another club that is nationwide with 4,500 members. They partner with the 508 INT in Charlton. Find them online at matrailriders.com.
This morning here with the Bay State Jeepers, I see Jason Quater. Good to see you this morning, Jason. Mark Rocheleau heading up the lead. Awesome, right on target. Good to see Jason and Mark this morning.
And Glenn, it always amazes me just how different each Jeep is and how each will customize. And there's so many different things that they'll put into it, depending on what they're looking to do with their off-roading.
These are not for the faint of heart. Underneath all of this is a tremendous amount of work and expense to make these what they really are.
Well, you know what it is. You start off building Legos and customizing Legos, and then you buy a Jeep and you customize that even more. And
good to see the Bay State Jeepers this morning.
absolutely. Looking at this Wrangler, the Texas edition in front of us. 4th of July, got the American flag proudly on the side of that vehicle.
And check them out online at matrailriders.com, matrailriders.com.
Morning. That's the Sahara Wrangler. We got a couple Rubicons in the mix as well. Some Wranglers. And as we mentioned, Glenn, no two Jeeps are alike. They've all got their own different flair, their own different customizations on them.
Well, Mark Rocheleau, of course, was executive director of Fitchburg Access Television. He tossed me a lollipop. It's a dum-dum. You think he's trying to tell me something?
I plead the fifth. Also making their way in front of the dump trucks this morning, we have I Love Kickboxing right here in Fitchburg. They're the #1 fitness program for stunning results. Yes, we can hear them. They are loud and they are having fun today. Turbocharge your life with fun, no-contact fitness kickboxing routines. A fighter's attitude and fat-destroying, adrenaline-pumping 60-minute bouts of dynamic cardio, stretching, and resistance training. They've got experts, instructors over at I Love Kickboxing in Fitchburg that'll guide you through bag hitting techniques that anyone can do. Perfect for beginners, no fitness experience needed. Check them out. They've got super low web specials, exclusive members only apparel, and personalized support to make you feel like family. Dare to be remarkable. Join I Love Kickboxing in Fitchburg. For more information, check them out online.
And another entry that we see several years in a row here, Silvio's Masonry and Landscapes, providing a wide variety of services to local family-oriented companies servicing, in which the county, from outdoor living projects to weekly maintenance and excavation, Silvio's is your one-stop shop with reasonable pricing and honest quality and professionalism. Locally family-owned companies servicing the county from outdoor living projects to weekly maintenance. Silvio's, the one-stop shop. Call Dave or Ignacio at 978-424-1786.
Yes, and also making their way up next, we'll have our friends from Spanifer Oil. Spanifer Oil and Energy, serving the Twin Cities and the surrounding area since 1943. Not only do they deliver premium heating oil to their home, they also deliver service to you as well. Call them today for all your heating and cooling needs. All estimates are free. They install and service air conditioning, gas, and oil systems. They're here for you 24 hours a day, every day of the week. Spanifer Oil and Energy, your home comfort specialists, like the Spanifer family. And again, find them at North Main Street right in Leominster. Call 978-534-5171.
I see bubbles. Yep.
And joining us right now, we have the Coastal Aroma. The Jeep Willys were a fundamental part of American history. They were used in World War II and had a long-lasting influence in Latin American culture. In the coffee industry of Colombia, the Willys are known as the mechanical mules of the workplace and are used to transport and sell the coffee that makes your favorite cup of coffee that you drink here in the U.S. Coastal Aroma's mission is to bridge the gap between cultures at an international level and ensure global recognition based on the cultural riches that were brought to modernization. Coastal Aroma is the color, flavor, and aroma of their land.
That's a lot of coffee there, Travis.
That is a lot of coffee. And it's amazing to see how much they pack those Jeeps, as we mentioned. Strong culture with these Jeeps. I want to thank the folks from Coastal Aroma for joining us this morning here. And look at that Jeep.
I think he's moving in somewhere.
He might be.
He's got all his stuff. It almost looks like one of the vendor carts from earlier.
Yes, and that's the Coastal Aroma. You can find them on Facebook. They're also on Instagram as well. I want to thank Coastal Aroma for joining us this morning.
You know, one of our regular entries every year, of course, is First Choice Limousine, Travis. And once again, Dan Betancourt and the crew from First Choice Limousine have brought some beautiful vehicles to look at this morning. There's Cadillac Escalade leading us off in this division.
Yes, you can always head to firstchoicelimo.com.
Over the last 25 years, First Choice Limousine has become New England's #1 provider of luxury ground transportation. They're at 555 Chase Road in Lunenburg. Also on the web at firstchoicelimo.com. What we'll see this morning is this Hummer stretch. We'll see a Lincoln Navigator and a Chrysler 300. And the brand new 25-passenger party bus,
Yes.
Travis. Good to see First Choice Limousine for the 2019 Civic Days Parade.
And you know, Glenn, I'm always looking for fancier rides than my car, which is nothing wrong with my car, but I'm just saying if they want to give us a ride in one of these stretch limos or this stretch Hummer, which is about to reach us, I will certainly not say no after the parade.
And if you're tired or if you've had a couple of cocktails, you ride in the back, and it's a great ride.
Nice, safe ride, a great way to enjoy whatever event you have going on, whether it's prom, whether it's a wedding, or just a special night out in the town. First Choice Limo, always a great choice. And again, head to firstchoicelimo.com.
Dan Betancourt, of course, a great community partner. A Lincoln MKT stretch. Sporting a red, white, and blue uniform this morning.
Yes.
Still quite a few more displays headed our way westbound here on Main Street. I want to thank the Civic Days Committee again, putting together one of the premier parades in the greater Fitchburg area and, of course, Worcester County, central Massachusetts.
And more of the First Choice Limo contingency coming through this morning. Look at the Chrysler 300 stretch.
Here's the
party buses.
Party bus that's mentioned here in the write-up.
A brand new 25-passenger party bus they now have.
That's right.
Right now joining us we have JE Transportive, JE Transportation for any auto transportation or towing needs. JE Transportation, call them at 978-847-4966 in Leominster. They bring another couple of trucks this morning. Again, our folks from JE Transportation joining us.
We have some more entertainment coming this way, westbound. Great to have the music performers last night at the block party.
Absolutely. We've had some great musical performances this morning from your traditional bands to all the different sounds. And coming up in just a moment, we're going to hear some mariachi sounds as our folks from GE Transportation continue. They'll be followed up by the Veronica Robles Mexican Mariachi. They're on a flatbed this morning, and they're coming up, and you can hear those sounds as they approach us.
This is Veronica Robles Mexican Mariachi flatbed.
Yes. I'd like to Vanessa Robles Mariachi Band for joining us this morning. Followed by our folks over at Kenny's. Kenny's R&R provides automotive towing service, roadside assistance, and heavy truck towing. In Hudson, they also offer a complete line of towing services. Again, Kenny's R&R. followed by our friends at Quality Towing and Recovery, specializing in services focusing on small and large fleet trucks. They're customer-driven and service-focused. Services include truck fleet leasing, a unique lease experience, and more. Quality Towing right there. Quality Towing and Recovery.
Joining us also, Quality Towing and Recovery, of course, and then Tandem Construction. Tandem Construction, of course, goes back many years, and the name is well known, Travis, for doing work here in the city. Looks like we have a snow throwing machine here mounted to the front of the front end loader.
When the snow hits, that's the machine you want to see out on the road, getting those lots of roads clear.
With 2 passes, my driveway would be done.
I think 1 pass might cover mine. Over 100 feet.
It throws snow
over
100
feet. That's what we're hearing out of the driver's seat. And look at this dump truck right here as Tandem Construction continues. Find them over in Leominster. I want to thank them for joining us this morning.
Another display of military vehicles headed our way. Just before the political division, Travis, this morning.
Yes.
In the early to mid 80s, General Motors made a number of these modified military versions of their Humvee, Huckvees. Rhymes with the Humvee.
It's the Huckvee.
Huckvee. So as you can well see, this is a K version of the typical half-ton General Motors Chevrolet pickup, and these have been modified for military use. And the Chevy K5 Blazer, and of course these are the diesel version, 6.2 liter diesel engines. Some of the modifications that they made for military service included some heavy-duty components to them, but a pretty great testimony to the product as it was, as they only modified it slightly for military use.
Absolutely. We're seeing more of these trucks as they roll, and each one slightly different with their modifications, but all needed for the work that our servicemen and women are doing.
We have the camo version of the Huckvee. Good to see you.
More of these Chevys that have been modified coming through right now this morning. Absolutely glad to have you here.
And of course, followed up by a military ambulance on the Huckvee chassis. These, of course, run a 24-volt electric system, Travis. This vehicle originally commissioned for the U.S. Navy. And I think that's a great segue up to the political division that we're about to see soon.
Absolutely. In the political division, we'll begin with Joe Bowen for Ward 3. We'll talk about that coming up in just a moment. You mentioned this ambulance being commissioned for use by the Navy. It looks like it shows 1994 to 2004 on the side of that.
What it appears to be. Honoring the Korean War veteran from 1945 to 1954 here. A great photograph.
Thank you.
Committee to elect Joe Bowen joining us now at the reviewing stand. Travis?
Yes, Joe Bowen, currently the chair of the Cultural Council and volunteers all over the city, is running for Ward 3.
The motto is going with Bowen, Travis. And the next in the division, the committee to elect Stephen DiNatale mayor, of course, running unopposed in this race. Prior to becoming mayor, Mayor DiNatale served 5 years on the Fitchburg School Committee, 3 years on the Fitchburg City Council as councilor at large, and 9 years as Massachusetts State Rep for the 3rd Worcester District. He's currently a member of the St. Anthony di Padua Parish and the Sons of Italy, the Veterans of Foreign Wars and the American Legion, the St. Joseph Club, and Knights of Columbus. He has 2 children, of course, and is married to wife Joanne.
Yes, and we did see Marcus driving the first vehicle this morning. Marcus and his family as well joining us.
Of course, we have city councilor, city solicitor, who with us? Vinnie Pusateri. Almost said councilor.
Good morning, happy 4th. And running right now, we have Evelyn Island for mayor. Head to evelyineisland.com. I want to thank them for coming out this morning. And right now we're running for Ward 1. Elect Bernie Schultz, running for Ward 1 councilor.
Bernie Schultz, good to see you this morning. Well, I misspoke. I said he was running unopposed, and Evelyn Island is running.
Yes, her message is empower the city, wants to bring innovative ideas to the city of Fitchburg, and wants to invest in the youth in the city. Wants to bring new ideas and businesses to the area as well. And we mentioned Bernie Schultz. He's a longtime resident of Ward 1 in Fitchburg, candidate for Ward 1 councilor. He plans on being accessible to Ward 1 residents and will do his best to make Fitchburg a better place in which to live.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for the 2019 Civic Days Parade celebration with Travis Condon, WPKZ 105.3 and 1280 AM. But a big shout out and a hand for our Department of Public Works folks who make this happen here in the city of Fitchburg.
Yes, I want to thank the DPW rolling through right now, marking the end of the 2019 Fitchburg Civic Days parade. And these guys from the DPW working hard afterwards. So we want to thank them for all their hard work in setting this up. Thank you.
On behalf of Fitchburg Access Television, the Civic Days Committee, the City of Fitchburg, Mayor DiNatale's office, I'm Glenn Fossa, Travis Condon, asking you to be safe this July 4th.